To the ESL Meisterschaft. My name's Sona. I'm joined by Scoundrel. We are here to bring you the English cast of this action. Now, it looks like we've got Dexter there. Guys, it's the big D. It's the big D dog. The Dex man. The Dex Meister. The Dexerino. Hello, how you doing, Dexy boy?
So Dexter is obviously a bit of a German League of Legends celebrity back in the day when he was jungling, I believe, for Lemon Dogs. Was it Lemon Dogs he used to jungle for?
I believe it was Lemon Dogs.
Then he went to CLG for a bit. Yeah, Dexter's...
He's now a... I want to say he's like a journalist for...
Does he work for the Score Esports?
Or the Score. It might be Score, yeah.
Yeah.
Good guy, good guy. Seems like he's saying some interesting things. Don't understand them, either of us, because neither of us speak German, but I'm sure they are both enthralling and exciting to hear.
I mean, looks like it's fantastic. So coming in between games, super relevant time to be adding something to the conversation. We're maybe going to look at some replays against Sona.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by some replays as well. Yeah. How do you feel about that last game really went, Scoundrel?
I think it was a really close set of performances for both teams. I think it really just came down to Vayne being given too much time and space, and there was lots of peel on the table for her. And the fact that Irelia built solely to deal with an AP threat in the form of Kennen, then decided to try and impact team fights, just kind of sealed the nail in the coffin, you know?
It definitely was a nail in the coffin. I think there's always a risk when you have someone who is as strong as an Irelia that you get a little bit overconfident and you accidentally make a few plays that you shouldn't be making. I think that's really what happened there.
Accidentally? Just accidentally?
Well, like you go for a play that you just can't make, you know? That's what I mean by accidentally.
Like going to the moon? Irelia can't go to the moon.
Scoundrel, please. Some decorum, man.
Some decorum? Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy word for you, Sona.
What can I say? I'm a fancy,
I thought you would have just said some magnanimous or some superfluous, you know? I would just assume two of those words to come out.
No, those are my go-tos usually, but not today. So we are, as you say, just waiting to get into this next game. They're going to ask Dexter another question. It's a good moustache that guy in the middle's got, I must admit, but I don't actually know what they're asking Dexter here. He's probably responding in kind, saying, yeah.
He's probably just saying, hey, what up, lads? Glad to be here supporting the German scene. I'm a big deal. Do you like my trench coat?
It's a cool trench coat. I'll give him credit for that, man.
You know, I'm basically Michael Foot.
I don't know who Michael Foot is, but sure.
Don't worry. You call yourself a Britishman and you don't know who Michael Foot is.
I'm sure like no one watching the stream knows who Michael Foot is either.
Leader of the Labour Party in the 1980s, the one that everyone is comparing Jeremy Corbyn to.
Okay.
Come on, mate. Brush up, yeah?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. I need to do some brushing.
Anyway, I'm assuming they're here to talk about replays.
You'd assume so, but you never know. Could be talking about anything. They do get into replays about this point. We also think this is a best of 5. We're not 100% sure, as we haven't actually been told if it's a best of 5 or not, but it makes sense considering both the semis were best of 3s for this to be a best of 5 as well. Now, this guy's name is Burrito of Doom, which is the more I think about it, the less I understand it as a name, but it is definitely a name.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I'd chosen my name to be Burrito of Doom.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because, I mean, why would you not want to be called Burrito of Doom?
Not really, no. I don't understand.
What name's better than Burrito of Doom?
Burrito of Destiny.
Well, okay, still burrito-based name.
Yeah, but you didn't say I couldn't be burrito based. You just said, would I not want to be Burrito of Doom? And I
why is Destiny better than Doom then?
Because Doom is so negative, man. Don't you want to be a bit positive sometimes?
No.
Okay, cool.
I'm just a negative and pessimistic person, Sona.
Seems like it.
So when is this game starting then? I assume it's soon.
You'd hope so. You'd hope it's soon. I don't see why they need huge breaks between the games in the finals. Shouldn't be too long at all, as we do wait to get into the next game.
And I'm assuming it's a best of 5. Or I could be completely mistaken, but I'm assuming it's a best of 5. Given that my schedule here, and I'm going to refer to my schedule, it says that the finals weren't actually supposed to start until 7.
Oh, please stop dabbing. Sorry. Yeah, 7. What was?
7 CET.
So that's 6
Wasn't sup-
o'clock our time.
So it was supposed to start at 6 o'clock our time. So this finals was supposed to start in 40 minutes. So they're actually very far ahead of time, given
Thank
how that
goodness for that.
series went. Yeah. I mean, I'm lagging, to be honest, so now I'm getting to that point where it's, 6 hours, 6.5 hours into the broadcast. I got my Lemsip here to deal with my crippling cold.
I think it's just got to the point. We haven't really had a break either because we have to be on edge for whenever the broadcast is going to start back. But
I'm on edge.
I'm always on edge. This game, expect to see very similar bans in all honesty. Rek'Sai's been a priority, Cassiopeia as well. Haven't seen as much LeBlanc as I would have expected to see previously, but I think I wouldn't be surprised to see LeBlanc picked by one of these two teams. And it's Mysterious Monkeys on the red, blue side is Iguanas, Ashe, Rek'Sai bans, and the Rise being banned away as well.
Yep, so this has been sort of similar ban pattern here for Mysterious Monkeys. You're going to see the Ashe taken off the board. I'm wondering what they do with the Vayne. Maybe they sort of aren't too fussed to leave Vayne up for Iguana again, given how they potentially think they have the answer to it. But, I mean, Ashe coming straight off shows that they've got respect for the fact that HereQ has a very solid composition based around it. Looks like Lee Sin's now gone here. Given that Kanani's never prioritized Lee Sin, that's an interesting ban for me.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. Kanani's been playing more sort of the Rek'Sai, the Olafs. Those tend to be his picks. But yeah, Lee Sin is what is being hovered here. And, looks like it's going to be banned away. Rek'Sai banned out as well. Kennen as well. So Iguana now decided what they want to focus that last ban on. Do you take away someone like the Elise and just go for full-on jungle bans?
Potentially. I mean, Rek'Sai and Lee Sin gone is going to open up that jungle pool very wide. But then you've still got Olaf, which, to be honest, Kanani made great use of in the early game. So, I mean, let's not throw...
Oh, LeBlanc's disabled for the tournament, apparently.
Yeah. I was wondering that. They were hovering it, so I wasn't sure. But, yeah, okay, Hado, who has been scrimming with some of these German teams, has said that it's been banned. I think it must be due to the rework.
Yeah, Assassin changes probably banned. So.
But then it's interesting that none of the other Assassins will be banned because Katarina actually received an actual ban in the first game of the day.
Yeah, that is actually very odd. But that's what they've said to us, so we have to believe Hado. He is a pretty smart man, 9 times out of 10. And it's going to be the Syndra locked in first here for Mysterious Monkeys. Jhin still on the cards, Karma there as well. A few picks available for Iguana if they want them.
So Syndra being locked in is sort of more traditional with how we expect the sort of pick and ban phase to go. With no Syndra ban, blue side generally always tends to lock in Syndra as that first pick. Very nice rotation of Maokai for Kekts, and then Karma being locked in here. As for Arfen, it's been something that has been prioritized highly by Arfen in the past. Now, I wouldn't be too surprised to potentially see a bot lane lock in here for MM.
What would you pick if you're going to lock in the bot lane?
I don't mind the Zyra whatsoever. I think Zyra is still incredibly strong, even with the Karma going up against it. He's thinking about Thresh, but I think that's more of a throw to Arfan being a Thresh main than anything. So Zyra wouldn't be too potentially disheartened with. And then if I was going to go for the bot lane, I'd probably think towards maybe, if I'm going to pick it this early on, Caitlyn, because at least then you can maintain lane pressure against Vayne.
That you can. Caitlyn is very strong into the Vayne. Of course, Vayne hasn't been picked yet. You still have Caitlyn on the card.
You've got the threat of it, right? So.
Yeah. But then you could just pick the Vayne for yourself if you really wanted to. Looks like it's going to be Zyra and actually a Gangplank locked in here as well.
Whoa.
That's a really interesting decision to lock in that Gangplank. We did see it banned out against Mysterious Monkeys earlier on. Oh, no, against Iguana.
It was banned against Iguana. So they're going to take the ban that's been against Kex for quite a while, and they're going to lock it in. It's the first Gangplank we've seen. Finally, a Gangplank makes his way onto the Rift. Zyra, though, we expected that from QuickTime, and that's an expected pick here.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that Gangplank pick, and now Iguana need to try and work out exactly how they want to deal with this, because they'll be surprised by it a little bit as well, you have to expect, and they will be working out exactly how they want to play into the Gangplank. Works well into a lot of those shorter range AD carries, great zone control in fights as well. Caitlyn on the cards, so you're looking at AD carry mid lane or AD carry jungle really here for Iguana, and they're going to lock in the Jhin. Second up is Corki.
Corki has been something that Iguana did run within that mid lane, and especially I think they ran with it when they actually had Jhin or... No, Ashe. They had it with the Ashe, so it's kind of running in the same way that Jhin would work. If they make a pick or at least start to make a pick, Corki can follow up in terms of a little bit of burst damage adding to the mix, and then that double AD that comes through means they've got incredible tower pushing capability. If they make a pick with Jhin or Maokai, they can capitalize with huge amounts of structure damage afterwards.
That they can. The question is exactly how you're actually going to make that pay off for you as well as you'd like it to. The Varus is locked in. The Gragas as well. Kanani's going to take that into the jungle, you'd have to expect. They haven't really got a huge amount of tank unless, you know, Gragas can build a little bit of tank himself. So there's always that option. It's a very strange composition and one we wouldn't commonly see. Being picked up here by the Mysterious Monkeys.
So we've seen a little bit of Varus thus far in this tournament. I actually think it was Mysterious Monkeys that might have played Varus. Or was it in the first game we saw Mysterious Monkeys lock in Varus? Or it might have been Iguana. Anyway, I know it was on the team that was on the winning side. So Double G locking in the Varus this time round. That, you know, you can see the piercing arrow into grasping roots or vice versa works very nicely. Also by taking the Zyra, you know, you've got that potential to lock someone up for the Syndra too. Gragas coming in, though, is something that I find incredibly interesting. We have just not seen Gragas in the jungle for quite some time.
Yeah, ever since he got the explosive cast nerf, which means it takes 0.75 seconds, I want to say, for it to actually fully explode, no matter where you cast it from, because it used to be that it would explode a lot quicker, but now it takes a lot longer for you to actually be able to get that body slam explosive cast combo in.
Yeah, and also it means it's, you know, more readily flashable by the enemy. But I actually don't think Gragas could be too bad. I mean, Drunken Rage gives you an AoE basic attack, right? And you also have your keg roll, whatever it is, barrel roll, which obviously gives you the AoE clear potential in a jungle that demands some form of AoE clear for you to function effectively. So yeah, I don't think Gragas could be awful. I mean, we haven't really seen him tested on the new patch, so let's look forward to seeing how Gragas performs.
Definitely going to be an exciting one. We are about to get into the action onto Summoner's Rift for the second time today. It's going to be a tough performance for both these teams. We'll, of course, be trying their hardest to win it out, but have to think that Iguanas will have the impetus to win out this game against Mysterious Monkeys. Monkeys looking to hold themselves alive in this final series, playing for that Challenger Series qualification spot, of course. And the Mysterious Monkeys look strong in the early game last game. Can they bring out that performance once again?
So I think looking at these compositions, this is a very interesting set of draft phase here for the Mysterious Monkeys. Something you're kind of bringing back. So you're bringing back a lot of what you've maybe seen about 6 to 7, maybe even longer than 7 months ago. I mean, Gangplank hasn't been seen too much in competitive play. I mean, he's been popular throughout the majority of this year, but he has kind of teetered off in the sort of the recent months because of the introduction of the Courage Colossus and sort of more impactful top laners being picked up for the team. But you know, you're bringing back Gragas, who certainly hasn't been seen in quite a while. Going to go for another 5-man stack here for Iguana. I don't think you're going to get a response from Mysterious Monkeys this time round because they were on the sort of the losing end of it.
No, they were. Iguana's not going to be able to get to... No, Mysterious Monkeys won it last time. They got
that's right.
Pets down and they got the early flashes as well.
It's all these drugs that I'm consuming with my Lemsip. Other cough brand things are available.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Anyway, into the action, as you say, on to Summoner's Rift for the second game between Iguana and Mysterious Monkeys. Iguana esports are 1-0 up, and they'll be looking to close this one out as quickly as they can. Gangplank, Syndra, Varus all scale very well into the late game. So does that Zyra, of course, who can do a lot of work when you get her up towards that.
And even as a tank,
AP
sort of Gragas scales pretty well. I mean, it's more of what they're aiming to do here. I mean, you maintain good split push with the Gangplank, but he can impact in a tower dive very easily across the map as long as Gragas is the one facilitating it. You got good siege in that respect, the Gangplank barrels, the piercing arrow, the Syndra, all of which are fantastic in a siege situation. And then maybe Gragas is there to pull the trigger when absolutely necessary when you're looking for a dive, including Zyra. She's got great siege too. So this is a full-on solid siege composition coming out from Mysterious Monkeys. And then if they want to start to make tower dives happen, they have that tank of Gragas to isolate people, break people up under turret. You know, you've always got that in the tank there as well, no pun intended.
No pun intended, indeed. How if you're Iguanas, do you win out this game then? You've got Jhin Karma, which is a strong early lane phase. You've got the Corki, you've got double AD carry, basically. And then just a frontline tank in the form of the Maokai. Can you just win by taking towers with your double AD carry?
Yeah, I mean, you have to facilitate picks, right? And there's lots of squishy targets actually here on the table for Iguana. You know, if you hit into Gangplank, Syndra, Varus, or Zyra, and you follow up with a nice Maokai Twisted Advance, you could essentially take them out very readily and then use that double AD carry to just go straight onto turrets and make it worth your while. You know, you saw how quickly they were able to end with the Corki and the Ashe. You know, now with the Corki and the Jhin, maybe slightly slower on that tower taking capability, but not by much. You know, you have that ability to just roll through turrets when given the chance.
That you do. Fennec was trying to put some pressure on towards Kanani on this Gragas. Kanani has been sort of the early game jungler throughout these series. Not really expecting to see him on this sort of more tank-orientated jungle, but that's what he's gone for in this game. And it will have to see how well it works for him later on, because at the moment, he hasn't really had much of an impact. We are only 3 minutes in. I'm doing him a little bit of a disservice by saying that. But Fennec already knowing that he can put a bit more pressure on than perhaps he would have been able to in previous games. Kex takes a double barrel to the face, but Maokai with his sap magic will just be able to heal himself up.
Yeah, that's what we expect. I mean, this is a lane that eventually Maokai is going to end up losing just through the fact that he's not going to be able to maintain pressure against the Gangplank, because Gangplank, you know, eventually with the armor penetration that you bring with those barrels, naturally, even the amount of armor that Maokai builds up, he's eventually going to lose in the 1v1. So Maokai knows that he's on a timer in this lane, and the timer is going to be sort of expunged when he starts to move towards trying to impact off the back of the Jhin ultimates, and that's expecting what that's what I expect to see from Kex. What I want to keep an eye on though is if we see a similar sort of setup in a tower dive situation for Iguana last time, you know, like they did last time, you know, Maokai teleporting deep in, and then you try and set it up with Fennec on this Elise, maybe a little bit harder to do so. I think actually, look at Catania, he's spending a lot of time.
Here comes Kanani up towards the bottom lane. Heal Q is dead. Arthur the new target. Kanani just in a perfect position for the gank. Arthur has to flash away as well. First blood over to Mysterious Monkeys.
Arthur flashes over the wall. Long time spent setting that gank up for Kanani. I mean, that's what I was saying a minute ago. He spent a long time just sitting there waiting for the perfect opportunity, and then managed to do so as the wave came back towards the middle. Perfect cacophony of CC to come down onto Hiku. There's no way he was escaping from the Gragas body slam into that grasping roots in the Zyra. Nicely coordinated. Didn't even bother using heal, knowing that he was dead anyway.
Worked out well for them. Kanani able to get into that gank at the exact right moment that he needed. Kex up in the top lane fighting up against Broken Blade. He's just going to try and tank up this minion wave. He's ever so slightly ahead. Fennec comes in with the cocoon. Broken Blade just heals it away with that remove scurvy. One of the powers of having Gangplank in the top lane, of course, is the ability to remove that. And then we are going to see just a little bit more pressure coming out on towards a Broken Blade. Kex trading into him well. Knocks him back with the Arcane Smash as well. Not quite going to be able to get the kill off. The Kanani is up towards the top side, as is Fennec. There's Cocoon onto Kanani. They might go in on this. Does just body slam away. Flash in by Kex. Not on the same page as Fennec, who was very low on mana.
Yeah, unfortunately, Fennec, no mana either. Just unable to follow up easily off the back of that. Kex now loses his flash. Could that make him vulnerable to Kanani seeking to re-gank this particular area?
Definitely does make him vulnerable, you know. Not having that flash up. Broken Blade still has his flash, so we'll be able to get out of any ganks that Fennec decides to do. And you have to expect there to be a little bit more focus now by Kanani up towards that top side of the map.
So heart rates for players are high. You see everybody kind of on edge of their seat at this point in time, giving an insight into how these players are feeling. You know, this is a really tough situation to be in. You know, this could be your shot at the Challenger Series qualification matches. And you need to play at your absolute best. You're on stage in what appears to be a massive derelict factory. This is maybe one of the first times that some of these players have actually been on stage, and a lot of these guys are going to be nervous. And what you're seeing here is an insight into how a professional to semi-professional player feels in these kind of situations.
You are feeling very nervous indeed. Apparently, this is a best of 3. That's what OneCom. Oh no, that's what OneCom has said in chat. So. Might just be that best of 3. Of course, we thought it might be a best of 5 as well, because there was some best of 3s earlier on. But could be the best of 3. And if it is, Iguana's looking to win this out. This is the grand finals. This is for that Challenger Series qualification spot. And at the moment, they're a little bit behind, about 1,000 gold due to that first kill. But they are very close to reaching their goal. I
think a lot of people in chat might be saying, well, why does casters not know if this is a best of 3 or a best of 5? Well, unfortunately, we know actually very little about the format of today. We are just doing the English broadcast of it. So, to be honest, guys, your guess is as good as ours, including those heart rate monitors, which we've just kind of been guessing at all day. I actually would have assumed this was a best of 5, but if it's a best of 3, that means it's even more on edge right now for Mysterious Monkeys. And I mean, they have to win to keep themselves in with a shot.
That they do. It's a very difficult road for them as well, because Iguanas have shown themselves to be consistently high level, consistently pretty strong in these matchups. And even if they lose out early game, they can always get back into it later on, which is what they've done against a bunch of these teams.
Lots of pressure coming down onto the Karma and Jin at this point in time. Q slightly falling behind in CS, but look at that top lane. Kex somehow 20-odd CS up on his opponent in the laning phase. There's a Maokai out-farming the Gangplank at this point in time. Kanani's actually out-farming at least by quite a margin, but you'd probably come to expect that with how easy it is for Gragas to farm the jungle with his a lot of AoE built into his kit. And there's a slight CS lead for Abadaj on this this Syndra compared to Genex.
It's only slight as you say, but it'd be okay with that for the moment. Genex doesn't really mind scaling up. Iguana as a team don't really mind just waiting and scaling up. They know they'll lose out a little bit in the early game, but later on they should be fine. Fennec's going to try and put some pressure into the jungle here as well, but won't be able to get too much out of this in my opinion. He'll probably just try and spot out Kanani, who is farming up, as you say, very, very well. Varus, AD carry we've seen a couple of times today, doesn't always have the best effect, but Chain of Corruption along with the Stranglethorns can do a huge amount of work.
So on Summoners In, if you type exclamation mark BO, it says it's best of 3. So
okay.
I mean, I'm going to take that as the law then, and this is going to be a best of 3, which means that Iguana are one game away from sealing themselves the victory at the ESL Meisterschaft and the victory of taking that Challenger Series qualification spot. They have to step up their game, though. I feel like Frederick, again, has been falling past the early pressure of Kanani, who has been fantastic thus far. Maybe comboing that bot lane. Jin is now level 6. You have that potential, like you've been working with previously, to use that ultimate and then combo with the Elise off the back of it. And we'll have to see whether Iguana can get things done.
Well, they'll definitely be looking to. They are not in the best of shapes early game. Here's the curtain call, looking for quick time. We're going to see the Karma try and get in as well. Double G takes all the shots. If Arfan had got close there, he might have been able to lock someone out, but not quite close enough and won't be able to get anything more out of that fight.
Yeah, they're going to just use that ultimate and back out of there. Double G takes a little bit of damage. Broken Blade now going toe-to-toe with Kex. I mean, Kex is just so far ahead in terms of, despite the fact he went... despite the fact he got ganked early on and burnt his flash, he is just dominating this top lane matchup against the Gangplank. We've seen how good Kex has been on Maokai thus far. I want to start to see him impact other lanes, though. Q unfortunately has used his ultimate, though, so tower diving the bot lane is probably off the cards for the initial period.
Quick time takes a lot of damage. There's the Stranglethorns as well. Fennec goes up into the repel. Don't think he'll go for the dive there and will be able to get out. Kanani's just around the corner, though, and they need to be cautious, because here comes Kanani. Explosive cast onto Arthur, knocks him back, flash away, locks up Kanani, and they will escape for today.
Yeah, very, very close there. Overextension by Frennick, but and you could see what they were attempting to do with that particular situation. They were attempting to try and play off the back of the synergy that they've had between their bot lane and their jungler for the most of the game thus far. But it's allowed a siege to take place now onto this bot lane tier 1. I think this is going to be going down.
Quite possibly Quicktimer caught out with a deadly flourish, though. Heal Q is getting the kill on towards Quicktimer. Kex has teleported in. Double G's caught it between a rock and a hard place, and he'll fall as well. Kanani now trying to fight up against Kex, who might just dive this one himself. Kanani's got no mana, but has got that drunken rage to heal himself back up. Dodges out that scatter the weak as well. No towers fallen. Maybe top lane is the target for Broken Blade.
Kex has been so good at his ability to just juke consistently. And he displayed it just there as well, dodging out that Scatter the Weak perfectly. Broken Blade's probably not going to have enough time to pressure down this tier 1 in the top lane. It has allowed him to catch up on farm, though, but what have they lost for it? Because that was a reactionary gank by Kex, it means that they can't actually siege onto this tier 1 in the bot lane. And actually, with Abadaji sort of responding and getting back to mid lane, they're not actually going to get anything from it. So it was a teleport for Naut for a couple of kills, but it would have been better had they managed to sort of capitalize on that and take Drake, or capitalize on that and take the tier 1, but it was so reactionary coming from Iguana, which is unlike them, to be honest. They weren't able to get much from the back of it.
Yeah, they're usually a much more proactive team. They're the ones making the plays, they're the ones going for things. But as you say, reactionary from them there, not too worried for them though, because they are able to get a little bit extra out of it. And we will see an engage here with the curtain call. Double G is focused down. Frennick almost falls actually to the piercing arrow from long range. Won't go down for it and manages to get himself away. So no one really falling in a lot of these fights. It's very close, but at the moment IGE just slightly ahead. They took out Quick Timer once again.
You did. I thought you were going to end that, sort of continue that sentence. So I just sat there waiting.
I did go up. I intonated up. I apologize.
That's fine. I was expecting some sort of continuation, but that's fine, buddy. And QuickTime going down once more. He's kind of been that battering post for Frennick in that bot lane. Very close for Frennick dying though. Did sort of survive by the skin of his teeth. Some crazy directed cam going on right now. Like literally crazy directed cam.
Don't know what you mean, man. It's all planned, all understandable.
Oh exactly my god, this is actually... I think if you have motion sickness, this is not the stream for you.
It looks like Fenix might have a bit of sickness himself as his heart rate peaks up at 152.
Come on, guys, don't just take it off directed cam.
No, because then they have to do it themselves.
Can't see what's going on. It's all over the place.
It's fine, man. It's fine. We understand. We know what's happening.
By the way, chat, we do apologise for this. We don't actually have control.
Yeah, we don't control anything.
Camera.
We have a stream coming to us, and we cast the stream that comes to us. So camera work and such is all out of our hands, I'm afraid. I apologise for the casting as well, but that is in our control. Iguana looking for the first brick of the game actually here as Genax came up, but wasn't able to get too much out of it because the wave was about to go down. Abadaji as well looking to take away that blue buff. Not going to get it just quite yet. And at the moment, you have to say that Iguana able to get back into this game after falling behind to that first blood. Picked up 3 kills of their own. Now ahead in that gold advantage.
Yeah, Iguana finally clawing their way back into a situation where they can bathe in the gold of the sun. They zoomed in on a ward, I think. That was an attempted meme, but didn't quite work out.
Well, they seem to be cheering it as well. They cheer when wards die. German and French fans alike, it would seem.
So heart rates, they are quite clearly displayed here. You've got the heart rate before they started this game, which is on the figure that's displayed underneath the sort of the pulse sign. And underneath the heart is their current heart rate at this moment in time. You can see Varus, Double G, obviously incredibly stressed at this point. 161, really feeling the pressure.
He is 162 now. Just watch it. Watch it specifically. They have this in Hearthstone as well, but they call it a heartbeat rather than a heartbeat. It's how many times you've been screwed by RNG throughout the game. I
like the way you stole that from chat,
mate. I steal everything from chat.
So do I.
You've not learned this about me yet. Everything I say is just stolen from chat.
We've got to give credit to OneCon there, the heartbeat for the Hearthstone players.
I think they're cheering ward kills, and I just want to say, don't do that, guys. Don't be that crowd.
Do you know, like sometimes when you watch football and they have the red button commentary from people who aren't quite like football commentators, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we're that.
Well, yeah, but I don't understand what the cheering is in the background as well. Can you hear that? Or is that me imagining cheering?
No, I muted my entire stream. So,
well, that's why you haven't got the cheering. Oh, quick timer again. Double G, next target, gets the curtain caller. Arfan jumps in as well. Final shot not going to connect, but Frennick is here. Double G has no escape from this. Almost takes out Arfan. Will fall. It's a double kill for Frennick. Broken Blade doesn't get anything from his ultimate, and another quick couple of kills for Iguana.
So it's again Frennick playing off the back of that, comboing very nicely, as he has done with Heat Q throughout the majority of this tournament. But they're going to see Syndra roaming down, will be caught out by that control ward, so they're going to have to back off now. Syndra has got Flash and Ghost though, but she is going to back off, doesn't want any part of this, doesn't want to get focused by a Cocoon here.
Am I allowed to turn down the stream because they keep cheering? Is that acceptable?
I mean, this is a crowd event. Let them have their fun. You know, you're going to have to cheer about something, and if it's not about the plays, it might as well be about the ward kills.
I guess that's true anyway. Mysterious Monkeys need to work a way back into this game. They have got a lot of late game carries. Kex just about gets away there. There's a Trinity Force finished on the Gangplank. Morello Nomicon, Essence Reaver across them. Then not quite at those big power spikes yet, but they are working their way towards it. And when you've got a Gangplank, you know the game is never over, especially when you have a Syndra to back him up.
Exactly, Syndra has that late game prowess that you could potentially always exploit if you pick off the Jhin in the backline, or you pick off Corki at any point in time. Like, you're always going to have that potential to just one bomb.
Just one bomb, that's what they're looking for. Kanani pops explosive cast. Flash comes in as well. Double G caught out his Kex. Double G should fall. Fennec takes him out. There's a Cocoon onto Quick Timer as well. Now Konami's stuck between 4 members of Iguanas. It's a double for Fennec. Fennec has been absolutely on point this game, exactly where he needs to be every single step of the way. They lose mid lane tower, but they pick up 3 kills and they'll get a turret of their own.
Yeah, that's again Fennec. I mean, he has been consistently good throughout this series. He had a poor start versus Kanani in the first game, but seems to have figured him out. Kanani playing a jungler that we just haven't seen a lot of, and maybe it is just for good reason. Fennec goes on to that Elise. He's going to have that proto belt pretty soon. He's been so fantastic at making ganks happen in that bot lane. And already Iguanas start to teeter down after picking off a couple of these tier 1 turrets. They're going to focus down onto this Drake now as well after stealing away this red buff. Iguana Esports looking to secure the ESL Meisterschaft title very, very quickly indeed.
They are. If they get this, they'll take it. You know, 2-0 is all they need to take that Meisterschaft title and to take their position in the Challenger Series qualification as well. They are very close to it. Kanani and QuickTime are obviously going to try and stop that, but not quite able to do it yet, as Iguana are just on the ascendancy time and time again. How does their composition work later on, though? Kanani tried to come in here. Genex will just Valkyrie away. Kanani does still have the explosive cast. Looks for the slow. Not going to be able to connect. I was just going to say, like, Fennec has all the kills.
Yeah, so Fennec's got all the kills, but, you know, that's not that awful as an Elise when you've got a Maokai in the top lane to do the majority of the tanking and damage reduction for you. So it's not the worst thing in the world to have an Elise who's soaking up gold, because she can still blow up people. You know, that's what Elise was initially designed to do. I mean, if you catch people in your cocoon, you're designed as a spider is supposed to just execute
call
that
on
person.
Double G, no escape for him at all. He takes his 3rd kill of the game.
Just responding to Fakito99, we actually have 0 control over the image of the stream. We are literally rebroadcasting what's on the German stream. We have a direct stream link that is given to us, and we have no control over the camera work. We have no control over the color of the image.
I know it's kind of smoky as well. Like,
yeah, we're really sorry. It's just nothing we can do about it.
Which is a shame, because obviously we'd like it to be the best for you guys, but hopefully the commentary makes up for it at times, and the gameplay definitely does, as Iguana looking to close this one out. Here comes the cannon barrage. There is a dead-off fan. PQ gets caught out as well with the strangle thorns. Didn't even need the teleport play. Broken blade, and they might turn their eyes straight across towards this Baron. It's still on the cards. Fennec alive, though, could go for the steal. Mysterious Monkeys, Abadaji would take the honey fruit to heal himself up. Mysterious Monkeys might just start this one up. They don't have an explosive cast. They don't have really many ways to get rid of the Elise, apart from the Scatter of the Weak. Here comes Ketz. Yannick as well up towards the top side. Ketz caught out with a chain of corruption. Yannick might join the fray from the bottom side. Rennick there as well. Mysterious Monkeys chasing on towards a Maokai is not always the best idea. The rest of Iguanas have left him for dust, though. They get 1 kill in response. Yannick jumps in. What was that? That was a brave move from the Corki. He'll fall. Rennick was nowhere near that as well. Mysterious Monkeys get another couple of kills. And they won't do the Baron, but they get themselves back into the game.
I feel like that would have been better place for Jennings to just consistently fire rockets from the sidelines, just trying to force them out while he waits for maybe Jin to turn up with his ultimate. But unfortunately, he went in thinking he could get a couple of kills off the back. But the main thing is they went 1 for 2, I believe, and actually ended up stopping the Baron. There was some kills that happened before that to start the Baron for Mysterious Monkeys, but stopping the Baron was the most important factor right now for Iguana. Cameraman still having a bit of an issue here.
It's directed cam, basically, isn't it? With a little bit of camera work. So can't really blame the cameraman unless you want to blame the bot that Riot employs to do the camera work.
I'll tell you what, shuffling around, that right there around Baron was cameraman trying to stabilize.
Yeah, he needs to learn about drag scroll lock. It's the savior of any cameraman who's doing Vainglory,
I've just noticed
League of Legends spectator work.
Nice meme. I've just noticed where the cameraman's going wrong. He's dragging the box around the minimap instead of using the scroll lock button. This is what happens when you don't hire a dedicated spectator, everybody.
So Iguana's still ahead in this game, but the game has equalized quite a lot over the last couple of minutes. Mysterious Monkeys not giving up that Challenger Series qualification spot without a fight. Apparently, the cameraman wants us to know that there are 5 and 10 kills in this game, respectively.
Cheers, cameraman. You're bae.
Thanks, man. Now, Kanani called out a little bit by Yenax, who on this Corki maybe hasn't had the impact he would have liked to yet. He went quite aggressive in that last fight, wasn't able to get much out of it. And here they go, once again trying to Mantra Inspire on towards Kanani. Cheer for the ward kills. Cheer, peasants. Cheer for them. I don't understand cheering for ward kills. I've never got it. Like, even if a game is going slowly, it's not boring. There's still a lot you can like discuss and watch and talk about. You should never have to rely on cheering for ward kills to entertain yourself.
Hey, let's not tell the crowd what to do, buddy. Like...
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, they're pandering. They have begun pandering, Scoundrel. This has officially become an LCS cast.
Look, let them. Look, they're enjoying themselves. That's the main thing, buddy. They're enjoying themselves.
It's just because I can hear them every time, and there's quite a lot of echo as well because of the way the live stream's set up. So I hear an echo, and then you know that sound like when people bang boomsticks together. I get that after it as well, so it's like echo, boom, 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 which I'm sure you guys get as well listening to the stream.
Well, luckily I can cast having it muted, which is something that you really hate to do, so I don't have to listen to it.
I couldn't do it anyway because I'm
True.
streaming, so if I'm using it, no one would hear anything.
Now, Gangplank is ramping up nicely here. He's gone towards the Triforce, more on Mortius. He's got another BF sword in the bank. He's probably hit multiple Silver Serpents as well, having those upgrades on board. So, I mean, Gangplank's been looking very solid. I mean, it's only a matter of time before he becomes devastating to both Corki and also Jin. I think there's a limited time period for Iguana here, and with everything being so even, you'd say that Mysterious Monkeys have got a little bit of an advantage going forward, and you're going to have to see a teleport from behind.
Comes the Cursing Call, not really going to connect too much. The Cannon Barrage stops them. Here's Kex going in from behind, as you say. Fennec jumps in with a Proto. There's the explosive cards to keep Kex separated from his team, but he's just on Double G. Double G has to flash away. Kanani now knocked up. Kex done his job for the moment. They won't be able to get the engage off. They just so many disengaged tools from Mysterious Monkeys to stop. Iguana's in their tracks, but it's not gonna stop. HQ picking up the kill.
Yeah, Q picks up the kill. He flashes over out of the Stranglethorns as well. This fight is still going on, Sona, and it looks like the Gangplank is trying to keep it alive. It's a small advantage right now to Iguana. Got 1 kill off the back of that. They've got a nice minion wave stacked up in the top. They're going to try and take this and go for the tier 2.
Yeah, tier 2 would be definitely a strong objective for them now. Get them 1 turret ahead, respectively on that board as well. Kex splashes in, looking for Double G. Just needs to twist it in. That's another kill. Double G goes down to Yenax. Fennec caught out, doesn't just repel his way away. The turret falls, and Iguana use a lot of flashes here to try and get out of the fight. Kanani in again. Courage of the Colossus giving him a shield, but it's not enough to shield him from Yenax, who will take him down.
Yeah, and now they can maybe look to capitalize with the Baron with only Zyra. Actually, no, I think this is a difficult Baron to take. I think there's a lot of sort of counter potential here with the 3 main damage dealers apart from that Varus left alive. They're going to try and basically catch someone out who's maybe trying to... I don't know if they scried that one out. The Gangplank ultimate comes through here.
They're actually just going to get the kill onto Quicktime straight away. Yenax straight in the face there. Abadaji sniped off as well. He'll be going down, and this is a lot easier now. And that Baron definitely on the cards here for Iguana if they want it. They're into Double G, Kanani, and Broken Blade. Kanani still in base though. Baron down to 9,000. This might be a snipe steal from Double G if you can get in range in time. He's very brave. 4,000 HP left on the Baron, and this is just going to be Iguana's taking that one off the rip. Getting the first Baron of the game, 26 minutes in.
Kex and Fennec have been so good this game. Kex really willing to pull that trigger in a tower dive situation to be decisive. And Jenax going in with a Double G. Double
G just has no escape. He is 0-6. Look at that bot lane, 1 and 12 between Quicktime and Double G. You can see where Iguana has focused.
Exactly, it's the sort of major winning point here. And everything's kind of snowballed off the back of that bot lane. Being so far behind, you've got basically 2 next to useless carries right now for Mysterious Monkeys. They're going to get a Mountain Drake for their woes, but their woes are exactly what it is right now. Kex trying to put pressure onto Broken Blade here. He's probably building up towards what I imagine is going to be an Infinity Edge. It kind of makes sense on Gangplank. He might have enough gold in the bank right now. We'll have to see.
Big amount of gold sitting on Broken Blade, actually. 2,600 on him. He has gone back. Infinity Edge, more Trinity Force finished on him. Hasn't even upgraded his boots. Who needs mobility when you've got Cannon Barrage? That's what he's saying. But at the moment, his team needs to be able to get around, especially Double G, who's getting caught out time and time again. Ketz is such a massive frontline tank onto Kanani. There is the Cannon Barrage. Fennec knocked in. Curtain Call comes down as well. Redemption used. Fennec tries to get himself out. Just about survives. Kanani is the target for Ketz. Genax here as well. Ketz has just tanked this up for days. Eventually, he has to go down at some point. He will get sniped off. Broken Blade almost dies as well. The turret falling lower. And it will go down to Iguanas. However, all members of Mysterious Monkeys still alive here. They might be able to hold out at the Inhibitor Tower. Barandoff minions pushing in. Fennec low. Iguana's looking to get 2 turrets out of this push, but they just can't do enough. Yenix decides he can as he jumps in, gets the kill. Quick timing goes down as well, and he gets healed up. Kanani, exhausted, gets sniped away. Broken Blade, the new target here for EQ. Rennick jumps in, but it's going to be a kill onto the Karma as well. And now it's just EQ by himself. They get the turret, but they went way too deep, way too fast, and they're going to be aced as Mysterious Monkeys turn the fight around.
Yeah, a little bit too deep there. I think playing off the back of Genax and saying, okay, let him do his job and then we'll take the turret would have been a better play. Kex just, oh my word, tanked up so much of that tower. Did result in 2 turrets going down, which I think off the back of it with no global objectives to lose at this point in time isn't a bad trade. Kex is going to be up and available to defend this tier 2 in the mid lane, but they lose pressure in their side lanes and they could have potentially sieged onto that inhibitor had they played it right. Just a little bit overeager to try and make that decisive blow a little bit too early. And I mean, you can look at this, I think actually, despite all when it's said and done, Broken Blade very close to the actual gold value from Kex, and Kex has gone for a Iceborne Gauntlet here, Sona, so, you know, really looking to up his own damage potential and his ability to duel 1v1 versus Broken Blade.
Iceborne Gauntlet is a slightly interesting item in my opinion. I think like getting the extra slows is fine and all, but why didn't you just build something like Vandroids? Your job is not to... I guess actually he's getting onto Double G often enough that he can just use his job as an AD carry destroyer.
I think he probably
as well would do exactly the same job.
He probably beats.
He's looking for the chase. He could flash, go for Twisted Advance here if he wants. Doesn't quite get in range.
No, I think he needs to save it given the situation in that mid lane. He might need to use that flash later on. Corki in the top lane means that everybody had to back up there from Iguana Esports. Mysterious Monkeys looked to make a play, but they weren't able to capitalize off the back of that Gangplank ultimate. It will be up and available in roughly 40 seconds, so there's not a lot of time period to work with here for Iguana, and actually Mysterious Monkeys know that, and they are just going to back off as a unit, knowing that they really need that Gangplank ultimate to remain relevant here in a team fight.
That they do. Iguana can feel it. They can taste that Challenger Series qualification spot. They know it's just around the corner. Just one win away, just one team fight away for them. Mysterious Monkeys would still need to win another game if they won this one, but they are not averse to the challenge. They've been up for the challenge time and time again. Iguana's just beating them out slightly thus far. Kanani goes in on towards Kex. Mysterious Monkeys fighting for their lives in this tournament. Not going to be able to actually get a full engage off there, and with this inhibitor not being down, Mysterious Monkeys don't have too much impetus to win fights in the bot lane.
I was also wondering, someone brought up a key point in chat, which Keystone Varus is playing with. Unfortunately, because we have no access to the client, because we are just restreaming a stream.
We can look him up, OPGG.
I think he's on Tournament Realm. Now, let's theorize as to what Varus could be playing, because Fervor maybe still remains relevant a little bit like Ezreal. He's probably not going to get huge amounts of value out of the Warlord's Bloodlust because a lot of it will come through from Piercing Arrow, but I maybe wouldn't be surprised to see a similar kind of keystone to what Jhin would run in the form of Deathfire Grasp or Deathfire Touch.
It's definitely a possibility. I think Deathfire Touch, like if you're aiming more for that poke-based Varus, you can can work.
The Corki damage with the Hextech Gunblade is just insane. Kex just soaking up that engage from Kakani. They're going to go in.
Curtain Call goes in. Double G takes out Genax. Kanani's low as well. Kex is the front line. They've already taken down the Syndra and the Varus. Double G and Abaddage no longer in this fight. It's up to Quick Time and Broken Blade and Kanani to try and defend. Kanani's low. This might be 4 members heading down towards that bot lane inhibitor. Kex and Fennec can be that front line for the team. Kex still some tanky on this Maokai, and Iguana looking to start to close out the game. They've got that inhibitor in their sights. Fennec there as well. Misses the cocoon. Offense joined the fray. EQ is a little bit late. Broken Blade jumped on here by Kex. Does get caught out with a deadly flourish as well. Kanani still very healthy with that GA. Fennec and EQ just looking for the inhibitor. There's the cocoon. They might turn towards Kanani. Take him low. He has to back away. Even with the deadly flourish not connecting, Iguanas take the inhibitor. And they've broken the base of Mysterious Monkeys.
There's a large minion wave in that top lane as well, so someone's going to have to deal with that. It's a good early stab here. It's a good time to take the inhibitor as well. With Dragon and Baron respawning, you maintain the most pressure in the lane furthest away from Baron. Though, to be honest, Gangplank's probably going to be fine dealing with this minion wave pushing towards him. He's got to the point where he'll be ripping through super minions anyway, and he's a very, very good lane clearer with those barrels, so he's probably not going to be too fussed, but will require his attention, which will drag him away and force him to teleport into a fight. And obviously with the teleport sort of channel time having gone up ever so slightly, you know, that extra time could be the difference between winning and losing a team fight.
All they need to do is win one more team fight, you have to feel. They're going to fight around the Baron. They do have vision control. They actually started it up and have been spotted out by that long-range totem. Scrying orb. Here comes Kex towards Quick Timer. Genax is going to jump the wall. Quick Timer is low. Stranglethorns is down, and Quick Timer has fallen off the base of the rift. Kanani, the new target. Kex goes in deep. There is the final shot from the Cursor Call. I'm not sure Kanani has an escape from this, especially with the twisted advanced follow-up. They've taken down 2 members. Genax getting onto Double G. Will he be able to take him out in the 1v1? He flashes over a piercing arrow to keep himself alive and lands the final missile barrage. And it's double kill for Genax, and Iguana's going to turn their eyes towards the Baron.
So I've just figured out which keystone that Double G has got. He has got Warlord's Bloodlust. I saw the little green particle effect of the Warlord's Bloodlust coming through, so we can confirm that I think Double G is using Warlord's Bloodlust on the Varus. Interesting, because I always felt like Varus would potentially function a little bit more like Ezreal, where even if Fervor is terrible now, you might still go in that route, or even down a Jhin path, where you know that your abilities are such hard impacting in terms of their actual flat damage value that maybe Deathfire Touch would be useful. But looks like we are actually going to have a Warlord's Bloodlust Varus here.
Is it Warlord's Bloodlust? We sure?
I'm pretty sure it's Warlord's Bloodlust.
Didn't notice it. He's gone for the Mortal Reminder as well. But he's just getting called out a few times here by Genax and by Kex.
Yeah, I mean this is all coming down to Kex, mate, and we were talking about it there. He was able to just isolate somebody, really sort of free Valkyrie across the wall means that Genax picks off the kill, and Kex is able to buy so much time for his team. Kex could have probably allowed his team to take Baron and then engage the fight and still have survived. So with this Baron minions, they're just going to try and push in towards this tier 2 in the mid lane. They're probably going to be able to do so as well. I mean, Kex is just such a ridiculous threat in terms of his tower dive as well.
Curtain Call comes out once again. Kanani's going to be able to tank this one up. No longer has that GA. See the Cannon Barrage come out onto EQ, but the Inspire heals him up a little bit. Baron buff on towards Iguana means they can push these turrets pretty easily, especially with supers pushing in the bot lane. And Kex just walks up towards Double G, and Double G says, "Oh no, you don't." Backs himself right away behind his inhibitor tower.
Yeah, exactly. It's, I think I'm going to potentially rotate up.
Fennec caught out. Not going to die to the Unleashed Power. Weren't enough orbs on the floor. Only 3 shots from Abaddage there. He's not had the best of games on this Syndra. We've seen a lot more impact from him previously. But this game, he's just struggled ever so slightly to deal up against this Corki, which seems to be the pick the Iguanas have decided that counters out Syndra. Chain of Corruption on Genax. Kanani jumps in onto Kex, but look at the courage of the Colossus Shield. Double G just gets destroyed by Genax. Absolutely melts it off the whip. And now they're going to chase onto Quick Timer as well, who will fall. Kanani, the final target. Broken Blade just ignored by the entirety of Iguanas. You have to think this is going to be the game as Iguanas close in on that Challenger Series qualification spot. All of Iguanas left alive, only 2 members of Mysterious Monkeys. It is Kanani and Broken Blade. It is a big gangplank, but I just don't think they can do enough. The second Nexus Tower is going to fall, and it looks like Iguanas have this game in the bank. They'll take down the Nexus, they'll take the win, and they'll take the series over Mysterious Monkeys, and they will take their spot as the top dogs of the ESL Meisterschaft.
There it is. Iguana Esports formed this very split of the ESL Meisterschaft. Arfan and squad come through as the champions. They will take the ESL qualification spot. They have deservedly won it. They win that huge prize pool as well. All of this off the back of Kek's Maokai, you have to say, just absolutely dominant. I mean, he has been such a force for them during this championship. And obviously the Meisterschaft, so huge sort of fan base behind it with the German viewers and everybody really getting behind these German teams. And this is a really deserving team to put forward towards the Challenger Series qualification spot. They've looked better and better as the split has gone on. They beat out the favourites, Euronics Gaming, and they clean swept through Mysterious Monkeys, who clean swept through their semi-final. And Sona, they're going to lift the trophy.
Oh, no, they're not. Arfan was a little bit premature with his trophy lifting there, but I'm sure they'll give him a chance now. Here are Iguana Esports, your winners of the ESL Meisterschaft split.
And I hope they enjoy it because it's a wonderful trophy. The prize, even more so, that Challenger Series qualification spot. And obviously the money that comes with it too. These guys have been fantastic to watch. Compositions that sort of roamed across multiple facets. You had the Ash compositions based off the picks. You had a lot of karma coming out from Arfan, and Kek's really dominant on tanks in that top lane too. Everybody taking their turn to lift that trophy. Here comes the interview though, Sona. This is the part we've all been waiting for.
That it is. We're going to try and do some interviewing of our own. So yes, player who was on Iguana Esports, you guys, you formed at the start of the split. You were consistently an okay team, and then you started to step up. How does it feel now to know that you are the champions of the ESL Meisterschaft?
It feels pretty good, man. Honestly, we really didn't rate ourselves coming into this, but we've stepped it up, and we've been getting better and better as the splits go on. It's been fantastic.
Definitely been strong performances by you all the way through, even beating out Euronics, who are probably our first seed coming in. Did you always feel that you could top the tables?
I felt like we could do our job. If we played our game, we picked our champions, we had our strats, I think we had the best shot to potentially win this. Euronics Gaming were our biggest challenges. I think after that, we were pretty much favoured for the tournament.
Favoured against Mysterious Monkeys? That's a pretty enthusiastic thing to say. I have to admit that you did demolish Mysterious Monkeys in the 2-0. We also watched your heart rate throughout the games. It was pretty high. What do you think about the heart rate throughout the games?
I was thinking about this caster Sona. I mean, that really, I can't help myself. But honestly, for the most part, I think it's just the excitement of being on stage.
It's understandable. It's very exciting here under the lights and being able to get forced back. Now, how do you feel about the rest of your team? Do you think they did a good job today?
Yeah, my team, I kind of carried them. But, we have to do that sometimes. Arfan especially.
And what do you think of my mustache? How do you feel?
I think your mustache is horrible and you look terrible, but I'm just going to be polite and it's okay.
Thank you very much, Iguana Esports, your champions of the ESL Meisterschaft. Of course, that entire interview was made up by Scandal and Lie. That was not what they were saying. If you want to know what they're saying, write down the German and then use Google Translate or something, because we have no clue. Thank you very much for watching, guys. This has been a very enjoyable cast, but that's it from us here at the ESL Meisterschaft Grand Finals. Make sure you tune in next time when we'll see more German teams fight it off on the Rift.